So, our guest for today, Ranjani, has done her Executive MBA from the National Institute of Business Management. She's an IT professional turned into an entrepreneur now, so she's currently self employed. I would like to add here, which she has not added in her biodata, that she has an Instagram site, Madras High Street, for clothing and fashion jewelry, which has exclusive products. Apart from that, it is also a social initiative, which I will ask her to explain to us once we start the discussion. She believes very strongly in conservation of environment and in the empowerment of women. She enjoys cooking, wildlife photography, and bird watching, not necessarily in that order. But again, her wildlife photographs have to be seen to be believed. And I know for a fact that she loves dogs, which again she didn't add in her biodata, but she dies for them. So, welcome, Ranjani. Let me
Thank you,
start
Ramya.
our discussion here. Let me start our discussion by asking
Sure.
you to tell us a little about Madras High Street.
All right. So thank you so much for this introduction, Ramya. And this Madras High Street I started this initiative because when I went to my hometown, I saw a lot of weavers. We went to their house and, we wanted to buy a few saris from them. So what happened was we actually saw the weavers getting the salary. I mean, the price of the saris is not even half of what the retailers sell. So it's like it's not even they don't even get the meager amount they're supposed to get monthly. So that affected me the most. So after I quit my IT, I wanted to start something. If I don't know anything to me, if I don't know apart from IT, if I don't know, if I have to know something, it is only dressing up. So wearing sari has always been my passion because I've seen my mom wearing it every day, and flaunting herself. So I always wanted to wear sari like her, flaunt myself and all that. So I wanted to. I mean, I discussed a lot with my family people, and I spoke to few weavers out there. I reached out to them. I said, what if I start? What if I do this? Will you be able to help me? And they were like so happy because the amount that a big retail shop gives them is not even enough for them to run their family the whole month. So and not even half of them get the whole amount completely. So this Madras actually started because of that, and it is running quite good right now. So that's the cause, and that's the way we wanted to start. Thank you.
Great. So, if I were to ask you to describe yourself in 3 words, I know that you had already put up 2 words in your introduction, but I will leave it to you to tell me. How would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm independent, and I'm very proud about being independent. And I am very outspoken. That's something has been a pro and pro and con to me throughout my career.
Yeah.
And the third thing, I think I'll be done with two. Two is enough. Yeah.
And you love dressing up.
Sorry.
You love dressing up.
Oh, I love to. I love to dress up for him.
That's a third.
That's something. Yeah. That could be a third. Yeah.
Uh, So, would you say that you have always been this way, or if you look back to your college days, you were different and you have changed?
No, I've always been this way. Always. Dressing up has always been my passion, no matter what people told me. So I never used to give anything about it. Dressing up is always my passion. And of course, being frank and being outspoken has always been my way. So, yeah. Independent, yes, I have been. So it's like my decisions has always been my own choice.
Yeah.
So that freedom my parents have given me all the time.
So, what has the role of your parents been in this journey, and who else has influenced you? Can you tell us something about it?
My parents have always been okay. I mean, they've never intervened in my decision, be it my career or the business that I've started. They've always said okay to it. So they've always been supportive. My father, whom I've recently lost, he always tells me you should do what you want to because his father was in textile. He believes strongly that something has gone into me and then pull me through that way. So I'm happy that he feels very happy about it.
Okay. And anybody else who has influenced you into becoming what you are?
Yeah, my Periappa, I would say, my father's brother,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sampath Raman and Mr. Sheshadri. The love
Mm-hmm.
for wildlife, the animals, I think I got from Mr. Sheshadri. And Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Sampath Raman actually, helped me. He's into business. He's been doing it for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
He's an entrepreneur for many years. The way he has actually left his job and got into his own business has inspired me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He did it after getting married, and it's a long story to actually tell you short. He has inspired me in many ways. Yeah,
I would like to ask you whether you feel that you had a safe childhood.
not really. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I have
So,
had my own share of you know these problems.
mhm,
Initially, I was not ready to come out in light. I was not ready to tell my parents that such and such thing happened. But right before my marriage, I got my courage. I pulled up myself. I told
mhm,
my mother that such and such thing happened, and she was actually very supportive of this. So she said, "Should I go and ask this person?"
mhm,
So it was not safe, definitely, to answer your question. And later on, my father came to know before my marriage could happen, and my
mhm,
husband also knows about this before marriage. So
mhm.
I confessed to all three of them before I could get into another phase of my life. It is not to do with the physical location. I feel it's more about conveying that, being ready to convey whatever happened. You cannot stop this happening, but you should be ready to you should be in a place where you should feel safe to tell your parents or people whom you are there, people who are taking care of you. You should be able to tell them that such and such thing happened, and they should be in a place to take necessary action rather than telling you to behave. Yeah.
So it is about the support that you get from your trusted people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Equality, I feel it is being able to actually stand up for yourself, in any given circumstances. So that I think we were not in that space before. I think now we are. I feel. uh, they think that they have the right to do anything they want to, and they can probably keep you shut because they are a little superior, and they say, yeah, she's just a girl, she's dressing up that way, or anything that matters, they bring the dress or the way you dress up into the picture. She invited me, or she asked me to do, or she pulled me because of the way she is. So just because we dress up that way, we don't give them the power to do anything they want to. So the inequality is there in every other instance, and
Yeah.
yeah.
But when there is a sense of entitlement or a feeling that they have power over someone and they can do anything, as you said,
Mhm.
do you think this has a big role to play in the prevalence of child sexual abuse in our country?
Yes, definitely. They feel they are entitled to do. See, the way I mean, the person who did this to me is very close to my family. In a way, he thinks that he was entitled to do this because he was in that position. They say mama generally has this power over this girl. So he took that advantage of
Being in that position.
being in that position. Yeah. I feel like it happens most with close relatives because you keep quiet, thinking that they're relatives and you shouldn't be telling. Initially, probably, I mean, I was in a stage where I was not knowing whether what he's doing is right or wrong. To understand the fact, it took a long time. And to go and go and confess to my parents, it took a very long time because I was skeptical, thinking that my parents wouldn't take me right. But to my surprise, they took it very well. They were very I mean, they said I will probably go and talk to him and I'll ask him not to come to the wedding, because I was the one who stopped saying, don't do any of those right now, because my marriage is very near. So
So you feel it is the extended family or the close relatives
absolutely,
who do such things?
they take you for granted because you wouldn't go and confess, or you wouldn't go and tell, fearing that they will not. First, they might not believe that such and such person would do such thing. And secondly, it is your relative, and the family relationship might get damaged and all that. So, yeah, absolutely. I feel there, I mean, it is definitely needed for that person. What one person
Mhm.
goes through the entire life after, they decide to willingly come out of it. And,
Mhm.
after that, you go through a trauma thinking about the whole thing happened, whatever happened, and, whether you were consciously present in that situation or not, or were you not sure of what happened.
Mhm.
It is not something very nice to actually think about. So that person has to be penalized, and that law is the best thing to happen to that person. Basically, touching you without your permission.
Yeah.
That itself is not something right, and touching you in those private parts, which is without your permission itself is has to come under that law. It has to be. It is not something that anyone is allowed to.
And what about showing a child some nude pictures or pornography?
Of course, that's come. No, of course, anything to do with sharing jokes, sharing physical, or showing your private parts to the child without, or doing such acts without actual contact with the child, but you are giving the child showing the child what you're getting the pleasure of it. All that is not something. It has to come under the law, and it has to be penalized. It cannot be exempted. Actually, my mother's sister, knowing me, when you ask me this, I have to tell you this. My mother's sister, she's no more now, but she found there is something wrong about the whole thing happening. She asked me there's something wrong, and someone is not behaving right with you. I can understand that. And that is the reason why you're not going to that house, or you're not, social with this side of the family and all that. So my mother's mom, I mean my mother's sister, she was very particular in knowing what happened. I was very skeptical that time because I was very young actually. You go very silent initially, and you would probably avoid the circumstance of meeting that person for sure. And you will shy yourself, by not explaining a lot of things to people. So that actually put myself down a lot of ways, because I was not able to talk much when such and such thing happened. So I went into a cocoon saying, how will I actually explain this to my mother types. So it took me a long time to get that courage and tell. I first confessed to my cousin Ramya, and then she took me to my mother. She said, you have to tell her, and we both went and told her. That's how the whole thing happened. So it took a long time, like about 25 years for me to go and tell my mom. If you ask me, I haven't. So it will never go out of your thoughts. So be it, you don't have to be raped, or you don't have to be genetically in contact with somebody, but that thought of it is just enough for you to feel offended or feel low for the entire day, or entire whenever the thought comes. It's not so nice to actually get back to those thoughts. Yeah, it doesn't get off your mind easily, and it will never. That fear of talking to someone new, and you will always have that 50% of doubt whether that person is genuinely talking to you, or forever. Yeah, that should be there, I don't deny that you should trust someone whom you talk to, but this will never go. If it's Chachu, I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt highly because if it's Chachu or any relative, the fear of losing them, the fear of the society that comes into picture, and people fear that losing them is more than losing your life. I mean, your child's life. They think that keeping quiet will silence is the best remedy. That's not it, definitely. If they're not, confronting the Chachu directly, why will they? I don't think so.
They will not.
So the accused remains the accused. If not this guy today, tomorrow someone else. That's all for him. So yeah, I think that is much better. Yeah, yeah. I think if you're anonymous and if you know such one child is going through this, I'll be more than happy to be anonymous and report. I mean, given a chance, I would put my name and say, okay, I only reported it, but having the family behind, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a better way of reporting it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Report, come out. That's the main thing I would say. Report. Unless you talk, the other person will not stop. If not you, tomorrow there are many more waiting. So report, stand out. I am Araksha.
So
Peace.